Hi everybody, it is Wellbeing Wednesday and today we're going to be looking at what makes a healthy community, and this is all underneath the theme of being responsible. So let's have a look then at our learning intention grid. Today we're going to be investigative journalists really. We're going to be investigating our local community and identifying the things that make it a healthy or unhealthy place to live. And there's probably going to be different things. There's not just going to be all healthy or all unhealthy. There's going to be a bit of a mixture. We're going to be learning it through this PowerPoint. I'm going to post a video that explains the Sustainable Development Goal 11 a little bit more to give you some more ideas. We're going to be exploring the local community, so actually getting out and about, okay, and then creating a map or a photo journey. We're learning this to be confident individuals who make informed lifestyle choices, to be responsible citizens who develop an informed view about how healthy our community is, and to realise that our communities impact our lives and we all have a role to play in shaping our communities. So if we do identify some things that are maybe not as healthy in our communities, well, what are we going to do about it? So this week we're really going to be focusing on how our community is right now, but then next week will be really fun because you're going to really take on the role of a city planner and think about what your dream community would look like. If you could change Muir House, what would you change about it to make it healthier? But this week we're really just going to focus in on what's already healthy and what's already unhealthy in our community. So how are we going to know that we've been successful? Well, you can take photos of healthy and unhealthy aspects of your local community. You can consider, which means think about, well, are there any healthy or unhealthy behaviours? Do people like to cycle and run and walk around here? Well, we know that we do because we're doing our North Coast 500 challenge. But is there any maybe unhealthy behaviours? Is there maybe any unhealthy habits like with food or anything like that in the area? So really thinking about that, maybe people littering as well. And then you're going to be drawing, writing, talking about or creating a map of your community and highlighting the healthy and unhealthy aspects of it. And it's kind of up to you how you want to go about presenting this information, as long as you're really looking at the healthy and unhealthy aspects of the community. Okay, so let's get stuck in then. So what exactly is a community? Well, it's a group of people that are living together in an area. They can help one another and solve problems that are too big for one person. And your neighbourhood, your area that you live in, is a community. Now, healthy communities, your health is influenced by your environment, by everything around you. A healthy community is clean, it's safe, and it has a high quality environment to live in. That means that there needs to be access to a good education, to green space, to transportation, so things like trains and buses. There needs to be opportunities for physical activity, so things like a field where you can play football, or maybe there are places for you to go on your bike. There needs to be proper nutrition, proper nutritious food available. There needs to be opportunities for work when you grow up, and there needs to be safe and quality homes, so some good housing around as well. So all of these things together all make a really healthy place to live in. Now, think back to if you've ever learned about the global goals before, because I know that P4 definitely have, and P5 I'm pretty sure that you will have too. Maybe you recognise this logo here. So the global goals are a set of goals that need to be met by 2030 to make our world a more sustainable place. That means that we want to help protect our planet and make it better and fairer for everybody. Now, one of these really important goals is goal number 11, and it's all about sustainable cities and communities. And that word sustainable really just means that we leave the world in a better place than when we found it. So we need to make sure that there's enough to go around and everything's fair. Now, in this goal, we need to think about, well, is there affordable and sustainable transport systems? So in our area, is there places to ride your bike? Can you ride your bike up and down the main road on the path? Is there a train station? Is there buses to get you from one place to another? Can you walk from your house to school quite easily, or is it difficult because of lots of traffic? We also need to make sure that cities aren't really damaging the environment, so trying to reduce the environmental impact of cities in our community. So thinking about air quality, are there a lot of cars in your house? Is there a lot of cars around the school, maybe causing bad air quality around the school? What about waste management? Are people in our community good at recycling? Or do we see lots of litter in the street and coming into the school playgrounds? I know that in school last week there was glass in the playground because someone had thrown in a bottle. So that's not okay. So we need to be thinking about how all of this impacts our neighbourhood and our community. We need to think about our natural heritage, about the animals that live in the area and about the green spaces there as well. So are there a lot of different species? Do we have things like different birds? Do we have different mammals? Do we have any foxes? Are there any badgers or anything nearby? So we need to be thinking about how we're protecting all of these animals and these habitats. And is there safe access to parks and public spaces? And are they accessible? So are there parks nearby where you can go to play or maybe have a picnic? Is there wide paths for everyone to use it? Okay, so thinking about all these different things and what really makes our communities a sustainable place to live in. Now, I've got a picture here and this is a map of Muirhouse and I'm going to pop this up in the assignment as well. And you can see here is Muirhouse Primary School here. Here's the main Shields Road and here's Arnold Clark here. So hopefully that's helping to orientate you. I know a lot of boys and girls in our school live in these areas here. Now, your community might be at a slightly different point and that's absolutely fine, and you can go on Google Earth to find it. You might even want to go on Google Earth and zoom in a wee bit more, but I've just got this kind of overview just now because I thought that this would be most relevant to the most amount of people. So I'm going to have a look at our area and I'm going to think, well, what parts of our community are healthy and what parts are maybe a wee bit more unhealthy, and how does this tie into really just having a sustainable community? So we've got St Brendan's and Muirhouse Primary, and that gives the boys and girls in the area a good quality education, so that's a great thing to have. We've got local companies like Arnold Clark. They provide jobs, which means that people can be happy and they can feed their families, so there's opportunities for people in school to grow up and get a job nearby. But we've got Shields Glen, and sometimes there's a problem with litter there. I know that it kind of gets better at different times when the community all gets together, and that's one of the great things about a community is that they can all come together, but there is a bit of a problem with litter. So that's something I've coloured in red to show that that's more of an unhealthy aspect of our community. Let's go to a local nature reserve, Barons Haugh, and you can see that you can go down through Addersguild into Barons Haugh, and that provides a sanctuary for wildlife. And if I wanted to add more detail, I could think, well, what do I know about the animals that live there, or go on the website? But because this is just an example, I've just popped in that it provides a sanctuary for wildlife. And I've also put in as well that there's just too many cars at the school gates, and this can create unhealthy pollution. So quite often there's a lot of cars at the school gates, and all of the cars are releasing the pollution and it's all going to gather up around the school. And that's not very healthy, is it, for the boys and girls who are inside the school playing? So maybe we need to do something about that as a problem. So having a look at my map, then you can see that I've identified some positive, healthy aspects and I've identified some unhealthy aspects. Now, this is just an example, and you can do this in lots of different ways. You might want to take photos instead and organise them in an app and make notes about what you've found on your journeys, about what's healthy and unhealthy. You might want to just draw a picture of your local community, of how you see it and what you know is healthy and unhealthy as well. There are lots of different things that you could be talking about. Even straight away, I know that there are some shops and I might be thinking, well, do those shops have healthy food or do they not have healthy food in them? And let's have a look. I think I've got one more point here I forgot about. Yes, I do. I've noticed as well that there's a train station, Shieldsmuir train station. And I thought, well, do you know what? That's actually quite sustainable because people don't need to take their cars and cause more pollution. They can get the train instead, which is much more sustainable. So I'm really investigating my local area. Now, you could do this by going a walk. You can do this as part of your North Coast 500 challenge. Be really exploring and taking some pictures and really thinking, well, is that healthy or is that unhealthy? Or there's a bin there, which is good because that will encourage people not to litter. But there's a road there that's really busy, and I don't think anyone can cycle their bike safely on that road because there's too much traffic. So thinking about all of these different aspects. So boys and girls, I hope that you're going to enjoy this task this week. I'll pop up some useful things in our assignments. I'll also pop up a link to a Flipgrid if you would like to tell us about your local community there instead. But I hope you enjoy this, so don't forget we're learning to investigate, so we're really being like investigative journalists this week to find out about a local community and think about the things that make it healthy and unhealthy to live in. Okay, so I hope it's been fun, boys and girls. Good luck with your task. Bye for now.